The group of survivors trudged down the broken street, coats pulled tightly around their bodies, shivering in the cold rain of the post-apocalyptic world. The streets were empty, devoid of any other life, but the occasional howl of a mutant, or the distant sound of gunfire. The group had been on the move for weeks, moving from one abandoned building to the next, scavenging for supplies and trying to avoid any unwanted attention. They had heard of a candy-making facility located somewhere in the city, and they were determined to find it. The group eventually came upon a large, abandoned building, its windows boarded up and its doors sealed shut. A sign hung above the entrance, its paint long since faded away, but they recognized it as the candy-making facility they had heard about. They quickly made their way inside, and were surprised to discover that the facility was still in working order. The machines were rusty and worn, but still functional, and the walls were lined with shelves full of candy, some of them still in their original wrapping. The group quickly set to work scavenging for supplies and setting up camp in the facility. They found an old generator in the back and got it running, providing them with light and warmth. They also found a few cans of food and boxes of candy, which they quickly devoured. With the generator running and the lights on, they were able to explore the facility more thoroughly. Inside, they found a few weapons and some medical supplies, as well as a few pieces of machinery that they could use for crafting. They quickly got to work, making their own weapons and armor, using the supplies they had found. They also began to make their own candy, using the machines and ingredients they found. The group quickly settled into a routine of scavenging, crafting and candy making, which kept them busy, and provided them with a sense of accomplishment in the bleak post-apocalyptic world. The group eventually decided to stay in the candy-making facility, as it provided them with shelter, food, and a way to make a living. They continued to make their own candy, and sell it in the surrounding area, and eventually, they were able to make enough money to purchase more supplies, and even a few luxuries. The group of survivors had found a safe haven in the candy-making facility, and they were determined to make the most of it. They continued to make candy and sell it, and eventually, the business became so successful that they were able to expand and move into other abandoned buildings, providing candy and other goods to the surrounding areas. Their candy-making facility soon became a symbol of hope in a world filled with despair, and they were proud of what they had achieved. The group had gone from a handful of survivors to a thriving business, and they had done it all in a post-apocalyptic world.